Alright, welcome back to another Photoshop tutorial. First thing you'll notice is this is not Miss Roberts, this is Carson. But what we're going to be doing here today is showing you how to do a Andy Warhol style picture on Photoshop 2017. So what we're going to want to start out by doing is opening a new project. We're going to call it Warhol, just for example. What we're going to want to do is have our units in pixels, 500 pixels for the original image. So now we've got our template for the original image. What we're going to do is open the image we would want to paste into this square. So I'm just going to grab the picture I saved. This is Buffalo Bill when he was 19. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all, copy the image, and paste it right here. So I'm also going to free transform it to get it seated how I would like it in the frame, 500 pixels. Alright, so now that I've got it centered in how I want it, I'm going to go ahead and rename this layer Face Layer. So now that I've got that labeled, I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and go to Threshold. Alright, now this is how you get your image into the black and white, and there's this arrow right here, and you can make it a lot darker or a lot lighter to the point where you can barely see his face. So what we're going to do is, for the sake of making this an easier process, I'm going to make it a little bit lighter so there's more space to put background color and face color in it. So I think 81 will probably be good. So I'm going to set the threshold to 81. So now we're going to use the quick selection tool, and we're going to select the background. And we're selecting the background so when we want to use our color, you'll see the ants marching around Buffalo Bill. So now we can choose our color that we're going to use. I want to choose blue. Let's try a blue. So I've got my color chosen. I'll take the paint bucket. Now I've got my background filled in. I'm going to deselect, use the quick selection tool again. I'm going to go into his face and start selecting parts of his face. So once you've got his face selected, do the same process. So I'm going to use just kind of like a pinkish. So I've got the ants marching around the features of his face, got my paint bucket selected. So now I've got his face colored in. I'm going to deselect, and just for the sake of making it look worn, I'm going to leave it as it is, but if you'd like to go in, you can zoom in and select the white parts of his face and his hair that have been left out from the thresholding, and you can individually select those with the quick selection tool and change the color. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this image. So you can see I've already started on a project, but this is a new one for the sake of this video. Let's call it Buffalo Warhol Original. So now that I've got my original image saved, what we're going to do is start on the collage. So you can do a 2x2, a 3x2, 3x3, but just for time's sake, I'm going to do a 2x2. So I'll start out by opening a new project. I'm going to name it Buffalo Warhol Collage. And for this collage, you want to set the width and height of the new project to 1000 by 1000 for a 2x2. To make this whole process easier, something that might help you is to go to View, New Guide, and set guides at the 0-inch mark. That way, whenever you're dragging the images into place, it'll snap into place and you won't have to do it by hand. So you can see I've got these two blue lines. So now that I've got my new project open and I've got the new snaps, I'm going to open the JPEG. I'm going to open the image You could save it as a JPEG, but I'm just going to copy it. So select all, copy, and then paste it onto the image. So I'm going to rename this layer face layer. Once you've got this layer named, you're going to want to duplicate it 3 times. Face layer 2. Face layer 3. And face layer 4. So I've got 4 layers of the same face. So I'm going to go back to the initial face layer, snap it into place. I'm going to select another face layer, snap that into place, select another face layer, and you'll see it all snaps into place very easy. That's why we did those guides. So it'll just snap into place really easy. So now I've got my collage made, but say you want to change the colors to different colors. So what we're going to do, we want to leave the original image the same colors we made it. But if you want to change the colors on different ones, you can do that. So what we're going to do, we have our face layer selected, go into Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. This little window will come up. And you'll notice when I change the hue or the saturation, the colors kind of change, the skin tone changes. So I can change the saturation to make it more intense color. So I think that'll be good. So we'll go on to the next layer, Image, Adjustments, Hue, Saturation. I'm gonna go with like see if I can do a red. There we go. And for the last one, same thing, Image, Adjustments, Hue, Saturation. Do like I don't know. How about we do a teal? Alright, so now that we've got our colors selected, we have a complete image, the Andy Warhol. So what you want to do is save it, Warhol collage. It's ready to save, and your image is complete.